Sharing my screen. So welcome everybody to our STEP 2023 program. We are getting way up towards the end and close to welcome day. So I'm getting very excited to get to meet some of y'all in person if you haven't been joining us for some of our smaller sessions. I'm going to go ahead and start us off with a Zoom poll. So let's go ahead and get a temperature check about what are some of the top 3 things on your mind at this stage of summer as we are getting close to this fall quarter starting. What are some of the top questions on your mind for folks? How do I pay for classes? When do I get my financial aid? Is 100% of our answers so far? You are in the right place for that today. What is the quarter system like? How do I purchase textbooks? All right. Yeah, I'm seeing about 50% of you have questions regarding financial aid. So we're so glad that you are here. Affordable food on campus. A little bit of everything. Transfer credits. Yeah, so 75% of you are here with one of your top 3 questions being, how do you pay for classes? When do you get your financial aid? A little bit about jobs as well. So we have 2 of the best people here at UCSD to answer those questions for you. I'm going to go ahead and end our poll so we can get started on our presentation shortly. So for those of you who might be just joining us for your first STEP event, we are in one of our transfer talks. We have just 2 left, but please know that all of our sessions from this summer have been recorded and are available for you on our YouTube page, as well as on our website. So we talk about financial aid, we've had some with advising, where to live on campus, and all different sorts of resources. So these are all available for you. Olivia is one of our peer coaches in office and takes wonderful notes and captures all the hyperlinks and slide links and includes those for you as well to be put on our website. We have one more element of STEP coming up for y'all very shortly. Within the next week or so, you'll be getting an email with an invitation to your My Transfer Math activity. This is going to be a self-led activity that you can explore some of the extracurriculars. We'll give you some tools, and the very end of it will be making a one-on-one peer coaching appointment with one of our student staff in the office to talk about the process and how to balance the coursework that you're taking with the extracurriculars at UCSD and setting yourself up for success, and also getting to get involved in the things that you would like to. And folks who participate are entered in a chance to win some of our Triton cash for $10. Our final event that we'll be having for STEP this summer is coming up on September 27th. It will be 11 to 1 o'clock, followed by an optional campus tour from 1 to 2. It will be right in the heart of campus, Matthews Quad. We'll have barbecue, we'll have some games, and just really give you all a chance to come together and meet the folks who you've been participating in Connect and Red Talks and our transfer talks with throughout the summer. So our peer coaches are really excited, and I'm really excited to get a chance to meet you all and see you during our event in person. For those of you who are first-gen college students in this group, we are having our first run of the Transfer Promise. So as you signed up for this, if you signed up via the Qualtrics form and you opted in for the Promise program, you're going to be getting more information shortly there about our welcome day and what that program is going to entail. So keep an eye out for that. It will be coming from the Triton Transfers email. And as I mentioned, all of this information, all these recordings, these cliff notes are going to be available in that new admits page. So if you look at transferstudents.ucsd.edu, you go to that new admits page. One of the first thing that you'll see is what you've missed or what we've learned on STEP with a hyperlink to each of these in a drop-down drawer by topic. So you're welcome to follow up and catch up on anything you might have missed throughout the process. For those of you who are new again, we have a raffle at the very end of each of these sessions. So there's a QR code here. You can take your phone out now if you'd like and register for attendance. I will post the bit.ly as well as hook this QR code up for a longer time following our presenters at the very, very end. And we will go ahead and put all of your names into a spinning wheel and see who our 3 winners will be today. Our winners get a mailed prize, and we will get those out in the next week or so. So that is all from me for now. I'm going to go ahead and pass off to our wonderful presenters. They're going to talk about I'm Just a Bill. Hopefully some of y'all remember Schoolhouse Rock and the song that we based this topic off of. And today's session is going to be talking about how to pay your bills and find your money. For those of you who are new to the webinar feature, a friendly reminder that we can't see or hear you, but there is a Q&A box at the bottom, so you can answer questions anonymously, and our panelists, myself and our speakers, can make sure that we're getting those to you. If we don't answer your question right away, we might be saving it for Q&A at the end, because it might be a question that we're starting to see a lot coming in as a theme. So please feel free to pop your questions there, and we will be able to address them throughout the presentation. And I'm going to go ahead and pass off to today's presenters.
Thank you so much, Tessa. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, can everyone see my screen okay? Okay, perfect. So hello, everybody. We're excited that you're here to join us today for our presentation called I Am Just a Bill, How to Pay Your Bills and Find Your Money. We're going to start off with some quick introductions. My name is Pichia Vu, and I'm an assistant director with Student Financial Solutions. And I will go ahead and pass it on over to my co-presenter, Rashinda, so she can introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Rashinda Hutchison. I'm an assistant director in the Financial Aid and Scholarships Office. I'll be talking to you about financial aid, but in the meantime, I'll be in the background answering your financial aid questions on the Q&A.
Thank you, Rashinda. So today we're going to talk a little bit about your accounts overview and Triton Pay. We're going to review due dates, understanding your bill. We're going to talk about authorizing payers, making payments, and we're going to talk about financial aid. So let's start off by reviewing our due dates. The following are upcoming monthly billing due dates for each of our quarter fees. Each of our students is billed quarterly for upcoming terms and monthly for miscellaneous charges. It's important to note that the due dates do not land on the same day every single month. So make sure you pay particular attention to what the due date is for that month. Even if you enroll late, keep in mind, even if it's after the billing statements are generated, your quarterly tuition and fees are still due on the dates above. And you can find these dates on our website, and I'll make sure to put that link in our chat so that you have a copy of that. Okay. So you're probably wondering, what is Triton Pay? Because I mentioned Triton Pay earlier. Well, Triton Pay is UC San Diego's student billing and payment system. It will be the portal that you and your authorized payers will use to view your student account and where you will be viewing and paying your university bill. To access it, visit tritonpay.ucsd.edu. When you visit tritonpay.ucsd.edu, you'll also find helpful links to tools like signing up for direct deposit and the 1098-T. Now, authorizing payers, this is really important. If you have a parent or a family member who will also need access to view and pay your bill, you must authorize them as a payer on your Triton Pay account. As a reminder, your records are protected under FERPA, so you must be the one that provides authorization in order for them to be able to have access to your bill. Once you authorize them, they are going to receive monthly e-bill reminders. They'll have access to the portal so that they can review your student account activity and again, view and pay your bill. Now, to add an authorized payer, you will need to log into Triton Pay. And remember, it's that tritonpay.ucsd.edu, and you'll click on the student login. Then you'll sign in with your single sign-on. And once you log in, click on My Account, which is highlighted in the red in the corner there. And then you're going to click on Send a Payer Invitation and fill out your information. Once you do that, it'll send an email to your authorized payer. That email is going to come from noreply.sfs@ucsd.edu and will be sent to your authorized payer's email. They're going to get a temporary password and a link, and they'll use that to log in and set up a permanent login password. So now let's talk a little bit about your understanding your bill and the overview. So on the right-hand side here is a little screenshot of what Triton Pay looks like. The first thing when you get there and log in is you're going to see the overview page. So this is essentially the home page for Triton Pay. It'll give you a summary of the charges that are due, your additional information, and more. Then number 2, we're going to go into the summary a little bit. These are essentially your summary balances to pay. If there's none listed, then there's nothing to pay. This section does not display the line items. It just gives you summary balances. And we're going to go into that a little bit further in another slide. Once we get into like activity details, then we can talk a little bit more about the different line item transactions. The next thing that you're going to see on your overview page is the additional information. This is where you're going to see any credit balances and any pending aid. The next thing we want to review with you is your My Account, which is up in the top left-hand corner. Again, this is where you are able to add your authorized payer. You can also add payment method information that you can save to your account. And you can set up your SMS or text notifications through there. Now, below that, number 5 is your activity details. This is where you can view your current statement transactions. You can also view past due transactions, unbilled transactions, and again, you can see pending financial aid there. If you go down to the next one, number 6, it's auto pay. This is where you can sign up or manage auto pay for like the payment plan, which is TRIP, or also for our graduate students, your rent balance. The next one is payment plans, number 7. That's our TRIP, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. That's an option for you to pay your quarterly tuition and fees in monthly installments. Next on your Triton Pay page is Make a Payment. This is where you can click to either make payments in full at the summary balance level, or you can make partial payments. The next item is Transactions. This is where you can review all your electronic payments and reversals that have been made to your account, and you can review any transaction receipts there as well. Below that is your statements. This is where you can view and download previous e-bill statements. Then number 11 is our help button, which is where you can locate our contact information and helpful resources. And finally, number 12 is in the top right-hand corner. It's our notifications, which is where, anytime we have an important message or update regarding Triton Pay or your student bill, you'll see that information up there. Okay. So let's dive into your bill a little bit further and talk about your summary balances. So these are examples of what you will see in your summary balances section. That's that first part on your Triton Pay overview page. You'll see anything that's past due, rent charges, primarily for grad students. You'll also see your tuition and registration. If you're attending summer session 1 or 2 and special summer session, you'll also see housing charges, which pertains to our undergrad students, campus purchases and other charges, as well as unbilled charges. Now, the additional information section, remember that's where you can see any pending aid or credit balances. Now, your pending awards will automatically apply towards fees if applicable, and credit balances that are visible on there, you're going to see them as a negative number. And as an example, if you have a credit of like $1,200, you'll see a negative $1,200. Any anticipated refunds after your awards have been applied, you'll also see a negative number as well. Now, sometimes you may see a credit, but then you'll also see that you have an outstanding balance. And so you may be wondering, well, why would I have both? Sometimes that happens because certain credits are not able to be applied to certain charges. So for example, you can have like a stipend credit, but it can't be applied to any of your open charges. So in that situation, when you do see an outstanding balance and a credit, you are still required to pay the outstanding balance on your account. Next, let's talk a little bit more about the activity details. So this is where you are able to see a detailed breakdown of the summary charges on your overview page. Here you can see the current statement transactions. You can see any past due charges. You can also see unbilled transactions and pending aid. The only way you can see a full account history, though, is available by reviewing your e-bill statements under the Statements tab. Now let's talk a little bit about your billing statement. So billing statements are published once a month. They will not show pending aid, or if you've signed up for our payment plan trip, it won't show any of the balances on there. So whenever you need to confirm the amount that you owe, you should always refer to that overview page, that first page on Triton Pay, because any recent activity would appear in the next billing statement. Now, keep in mind, SFS, we provide a consolidated billing statement, but we don't assess the charges from other departments like housing or the bookstore. So if you have questions related to those certain charges or fees, you will need to contact those departments directly. And the second page of your e-bill has a list of those department contacts so that you can contact them for any questions related to those specific charges on your bill. Okay. And then for your pending aid, students are able to see your pending aid. You're in the additional information section. Now, as a reminder, the pending aid will be applied to the summary balances on your overview page. To confirm the award types you're receiving, you can always click on activities details to see a detailed list. And then we've got the dates listed here regarding when financial aid awards will start to be applied to your account. Please note that once your credit is refunded, once we apply the credit to your account, and if there's any refunds after that, please note that, once a credit is refunded, you are going to see a corresponding charge on your account that's going to offset the credit, which basically just means that your refund has been processed by our office. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to Rashinda because she's going to talk a little bit more about financial aid in detail.
And if you can stay right there on this page for me just for a second. The number one thing that I want to point out to all of you students, this pending aid section is going to show the amount of financial aid that is going to be paying out for the quarter. However, it is based on the number of units that you are actually enrolled in. If you are waitlisted for a class, we can't see those waitlisted units. We do not even pretend that we're going to pay for waitlisted units. You have to actually be enrolled in the units for it to show, okay, the full amount of your financial aid is paying. What does that mean? 6 to 8 units is only going to show half of your money paying, half of your Pell Grant, half of your Cal Grant Award will pay based on 6 to 8 units. If you are in 12 or more units, you will see the full amount of your financial aid being posted here as pending aid. The aid, and then that goes away. So keep this in mind. This is available for you students now ahead of time so you can plan accordingly. But that amount of financial aid that's paying, if it's not the full amount that's reflected on your financial aid offer, are you waitlisted for classes? Think about it. If I'm waitlisted, okay, I got to actually get in that class. Once I'm actually in that class, come back and look at this page. Number reflected. Okay, next slide. All right, so I'm from the Financial Aid and Scholarships Office, and right now, available to you students are your financial aid offers. They should be available for you. This is the chance for you to get in there. You want to get in there and accept or decline the offer. From my Triton link, at the very top, click on Financial Tools, then Financial Aid. Select that 324 award year to get in. And you want to scroll down. The first thing that you're going to see is this top section we see over here on the screen. This is the Manage Awards area for you. If you have something under required where you can get in and set up your direct deposit. If you haven't done that, do it now. You can provide us consent so that we're able to speak to your parents if they call and they want to know, or your spouse, they want to know about your financial aid situation. Unless I have consent on file, I really can't release that information. So this is the way that you can get to that form and provide us with that consent so we can release information to others on your behalf. This is also where you can connect to your federal student aid website. You may want to end up going there later on to check out any information on loans that you may have taken out, or you want to research different information. This is your link to get there. The link for our website is there. And at the bottom, you're going to see that financial aid document submission tool. This is how you get in to provide our office with documents. So this is always going to be available for you on your main financial aid page once you log in under that 23-24 year. This is the information that's available for you at the top right now.
Rashinda?
Yes.
You had cut out during the piece that you were giving on signing on for consent for others to view. Do you mind repeating that? And then you seem like you've cleared up now. If not, do you mind if I just let you know to turn camera off?
Sure.
Okay. As of now, you seem good, but we did have a couple of questions come in about missing pieces of the consent piece.
Okay, so the consent, let's go back to that. If you are a student and you want to allow your parent to call in and get some information about your financial aid, I need to have consent on file to be able to release that information to you. Already know, oh yeah, they're going to be helping me out. They're going to be calling in to get information. Make sure you fill out that consent to release. And then that allows me the opportunity to provide them with as much information as needed. Otherwise, just giving them. These forms are
again, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. Can you hear me now?
That is much clearer. Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay.
But let me know if it cuts out again. Parent Plus loan information is down there, and financial aid document submission tool. So anytime you want to provide our office with documents, you would click on that bottom link and log in there. Towards the bottom of this screen is where we see the actual financial aid offer. What I want to point out is on the left column, you're going to see your different type of award. So it's going to show you offered there, the dollar amount that you've been offered, and then the accepted amount. Now, for students that have a Cal Grant Award that is out there as offered and not accepted, this is because we are waiting for you to show up on that. Once you show up on that roster, we will automatically accept that award for you. In the event that we know, oh no, you're not really on that roster, we're going to take away that Cal Grant and award you differently so that you can have money available. We're not going to just sit and wait for you to just show up on the roster and leave that $13,000 out there pending. So we are working on that right now. A lot of you students should have seen changes already happen because we did a lot of changes for our transfer students recently. We sent out an email about that, so you may have that information already. The next thing that I want to point out, the breakdown. So on the right, you're going to see the portion that's going to pay for the fall, the portion that will pay for the winter, and the portion that's going to pay for the spring quarter. This is how you should be planning, okay? We do not pay all of the amount all at once. So it's just quarter by quarter, we split everything into thirds. The things that you need to make a decision on. So if you have free money, we are automatically going to accept that for you. So Pell Grant money, UC Grant money, those things we're going to accept for you. Students, you will have to make a decision on work study. So if you want to work and earn money, you will go through the option of accepting that offer. You also need to make a decision on student loans. And next slide. This is where it comes down to, how do you know if you even need to borrow? Do you even have enough financial aid to cover what you need? This is what you need to be thinking about. On our website, you can visit our cost of attendance page. Our website is fas.ucsd.edu. This is going to give you the breakdown of your tuition and fees. If you're living on campus, it will give you a figure for housing. If you've already signed your housing contract, then use that actual figure instead to really calculate what you need. If you're living with your parents, you only need enough financial aid to cover your tuition and fees. If you are living off campus, you only need enough financial aid to cover your tuition and fees, but you also want to be thinking, how much do I need to help me for the 9 months while I'm in school? So you may want to make sure you have enough to help you with living expenses for the 9 months while you're in school. Calculate how much your rent is going to be for 9 months. Add that to your tuition and fees. Make sure you have enough financially to cover that total. That's the name of the game, okay? If you're living on campus, your housing and meals, again, you want to look at what your actual contract is. Yes, you can use this figure to give you a general idea, but your actual housing contract is going to give you the real figure that you signed up for. Once you figure this out, then I want you to take that back to that financial aid offer and really figure out, okay, do I have enough money to cover what I need? Next slide. How do you do this? Go back to that financial aid offer, add up those grants, figure out how much free money you have available to you, if you have free money available to you. If you are accepting loans, and only if you are accepting loans, then you want to add those loan totals. I do want to point out that if you are taking out a federal loan, federal loans are going to pay a little bit less than the total that you're thinking is not an exact amount. So if you're being offered $4,500, it's not going to pay you $1,500 a quarter. Instead, it's going to pay you like $1,485 or something like that because of the loan fee that's associated with the federal loan. So kind of keep that in mind. You can still use your $1,500 figure. You're just going to be off by $15. You know what I mean? In the end, if you are taking loans, only if you are taking loans, you want to add those totals. You do not add that money because you, oh, sorry, can you go back? You do not add that money because you want to make sure that you are actually, you have to have a job first and you're going to be earning that money. So this is money that you're going to get in a paycheck, in the form of a paycheck every 2 weeks. You earn that money. So you don't want to count that as actual financial aid money coming in. You have to actually get a job and earn that throughout the school year. Keep in mind that the financial aid offer that you're seeing out there, if you're looking at the total amount, it's the total amount for the whole year. What we just saw on the cost of attendance is the total amount for the whole year. However, we only bill you quarterly. So you're only going to be billed for tuition and fees each quarter. and your financial aid is going to pay out each quarter. So you kind of got to do the math. Okay, next screen. If you are deciding to take out loans, you want to make sure that you are going in there and you are accepting that loan offer. Click on that confirm button, and then it's going to prompt you to go back to the previous page. If you have accepted a federal student loan, or even if your parents are taking out a parent loan, then you have to complete the entrance loan counseling, and the student needs to complete the master promissory note. Those two things are going to pop up on your document above, and it'll tell you to complete those things so that your loans will pay out. It is not enough to just accept the loan. Okay, I will say that again. You don't just accept the loan and expect it to pay. This is your first time taking out these loans, so you have to complete these loan documents for the first time. Once you do it one time, it's good for 10 years, so you don't have to complete it again and again. But you do have to do it this one time for the money to pay. And it has to have that in order to initiate and pay out. Otherwise, you're just going to have an accepted loan out there and no money moving. Okay. If you decide to take out that subsidized loan, that's that good loan. 5.50% is the interest rate. Interest does not kick in on that bad boy until 6 months after you are done with school. Unsub loan, interest is going to start immediately while you're in school. But for both of those student loans, you do not make a payment until 6 months after you are done with school. Parent loans have the 8.05% interest rate. That happens while you're in school. Payments start for them while you're in school as well. If you've been offered a university loan or a Quan loan, those have a 5% interest rate. Interest doesn't start on those until 9 months after you're done with school. And for my DREAM students, only for my students that have completed a DREAM Act application, they will be offered a DREAM loan. DREAM loans have a 5.50% interest rate as well. They're just like that subsidized loan, no interest until 6 months after you're done with school. And I think one more slide.
Okay, thank you, Rishinda. So we've given you a little overview of Triton Pay. And then now we've talked about financial aid. And now we're going to talk about what happens if you have to make a payment to your campus bill. So if you're needing to make a payment to your account, you're going to click on the Make a Payment tab. And then you can choose to either pay your balance, your entire summary balance due, or you can make partial payments. Now, when you're making a payment, you can select from one of the following make payment methods. We've got an e-check option, which has a 50-cent transaction fee. You can pay via credit card, which is a 2.75% service fee. You can use your 529 savings plan and pay electronically, which is a $10 service fee, or click on international payment for our international payment options. Now for 529, there is a $10 service fee if you choose to do the electronic payments. We do still accept paper check payments for 529, so that is an available option to you. Please keep in mind that not all 529 plans are available for electronic payments. If your plan is not listed as one of our available 529 plans, you may pay via paper check mailed to our cashier's office. Now for our international payments, there are 3 options available to you. You can use the current international payment processor available in Triton Pay, or you can select to pay with Convera or Flywire if you want to research more favorable rates. Keep in mind that payment platform options may vary depending on the country that you have selected. So we mentioned this a little bit earlier, the payment plan, which is called TRIP, our Triton Registration Enrollment Plan. But we wanted to go into a little bit further detail. So as a reminder, your tuition and registration charges are charged once per quarter, so quarterly. If needed, you are able to split these charges up into monthly installments by enrolling in our TRIP plan. Please note, you must re-enroll in TRIP every single quarter, and there is a $40 fee that is required upfront when you enroll in TRIP. The other thing we want to point out is TRIP is for your tuition and registration charges. This does not include housing. Housing offers their own separate housing payment plan, which you can manage through your housing portal if you're living on campus. So TRIP covers your tuition and your non-resident tuition fees, your registration fees, and your student health insurance. The fees that are not covered are housing, any student health services fees or miscellaneous fees like bookstore, parking, etc. Now, when you enroll in TRIP, you can additionally set up auto pay. This is something that you could set up so you don't have to worry about remembering to log in to pay your installments later on. The payment methods accepted for auto pay are e-check, credit card, and 529s. When making the automatic 529 payment plan, plan payment, you will only be charged the $10 service fee once per quarter. And another thing that we want to point out regarding TRIP, if you want to take advantage of the full 3 monthly installments, you have to enroll in TRIP prior to the first quarterly billing due date, which is September 25th for this quarter. So failure to do so and enroll by then will reduce the monthly installments to 2 instead of 3. So it is available option for you right now if you want to enroll in TRIP. Again, just sign on to your Triton Pay account to do so. Okay. Now, if you don't want to make an electronic payment and you instead want to make a payment in person or mail in a payment, then you can do so at our central cashier's office. We accept cash, US currency only, personal checks, money orders, cashier's checks, traveler's checks, international checks, again, all of which must be in US dollars. When you're making a check payment, just make sure that your check is made payable to UC Regents. Your check has to have your bank branch information as well as your account number imprinted on it. Make sure you include your student ID number so we know who to apply the payment to. And you must make sure you include your signature, the current date, and your complete address. If your payment is received before 3 p.m., it is posted to your account on the same business day. Any payments received after 3 p.m. are posted the following business day. Something to keep in mind if you're planning to mail in a payment, all payments must be received by the due date. We do not accept payment postmark dates. So if your check or payment is received via mail after the due date, it is considered late. So please make sure you keep that in mind when you're planning accordingly. And in the little yellow box is our mailing information, and that's the address that you would use if you are wanting to mail in your payment. Now let's talk a little bit about scholarships. So if you are receiving scholarship funds from a non-UC San Diego organization, you need to please make sure that the checks are made payable to UC Regents. Again, make sure your name and your ID number is on the check so we know who to apply the check to. And then you can either mail or drop off the check to our office, to Student Financial Solutions. Our office processes the scholarship check once we receive it, and then our financial aid team will disperse the aid onto your student account once the check is processed. If you or the university has not received a scholarship check, please follow up with your scholarship agency. And the mailing information inside that yellow box is where you would want to mail in your scholarship check. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about third-party payments. Because third-party payments are for students who require direct billing to an outside agency for their tuition and mandatory fees. So the Department of Veteran Affairs, managed by registrars, the VA determines your eligibility for veterans education benefits. The registrar's office helps you fully utilize programs, services, and benefits available. Now, for the international and domestic sponsors, that's managed by SFS. We prepare and send the bills for tuition and mandatory fees. We maintain agency and undergraduate third-party accounts, and we handle the correspondence regarding the third-party agreements. And we've listed our email account information there. The next thing we want to talk about is our USHIP, our health fee waiver. So as a reminder, all registered students are automatically enrolled into our UC Student Health Insurance Plan, which is our UC SHIP. Students who are currently covered under a private health plan and don't wish to be covered by the UC SHIP may submit an online application to opt out of the UC SHIP. You can find the waiver information on the Student Health Services website, and I'll put that link in the chat for everyone under how do I apply for a waiver. Something we want to make sure that you know, they will not be assessing late fees during the fall 23 enrollment from 9/21 through the 25th. And then on the right-hand side of this slide are all the UC SHIP waiver deadlines. And I'll pause just a second in case you want to take a screenshot of the deadlines. And while I do that, let me just put the link in the chat so that you have a copy of that. There you go. Okay. So we had mentioned refunds a little bit earlier, but I want to kind of go into the different refund types that you may see. So the first one is an overpayment, which is refunds for when payments exceed your open charges on a student's bill. So when this happens, the refunds are typically returned to the source where the payment was made. So you have an option to leave the overpayment on your account to maybe pay for like an upcoming charge. Let's say you know an upcoming charge is going to be happening soon. You have the option to leave that overpayment on your account so that it can pay for that. The next type of refund, it may be a financial aid refund. So refunds for financial aid that are sent can be sent either via direct deposit or mailed to your current address on file in Triton link. This happens when your financial aid awards are greater than your balance due on your bill. Now, financial aid refunds are automatically processed. You don't have to contact our office and ask our office for a refund. We will automatically process the refund for you. Let's see. We have stipends on here, but since you are all transfer students, I don't think the stipends applies. So I will go ahead and I'll skip that part. And then we'll talk a little bit about the drop by date. So if you withdraw from UC San Diego, you may be eligible for a partial or full refund, depending on the date that you withdrew. So we recommend that you visit the registrar's office for more information regarding when you withdraw and what how your charges are going to be affected by it. Now, just to reiterate, refunds, you can get them either via direct deposit or paper check. Now, we posted the link a little bit earlier in the chat regarding how to enroll in direct deposit. We highly encourage that you enroll in direct deposit. You'll get your refunds faster that way instead of having to wait for a paper check to arrive in the mail. So if you have not yet signed up for direct deposit, I recommend that you do that ASAP. It's such a simple process. We also have a video that, will walk you through the process, and I will go ahead and post that in the chat. So you can follow that video or refer to the link that Gail posted earlier in the chat so that you can sign up for direct deposit. It's the fastest way to go. If you don't sign up for direct deposit, then you're going to get a paper check. And so that means that you'll need to wait for your check to arrive in the mail, which could take 1 to 2 weeks, as opposed to the 3 to 5 business days if you do direct deposit. So I recommend that you sign up for direct deposit ASAP. Something else that we want to make sure that you are aware of, as the student, remember you are the account holder. So if you have an overpayment on your account and you are wanting a refund, because remember, financial aid refunds, we automatically process. You don't have to request that. For overpayments, you can choose to leave the credit on your account, or you can ask that it be refunded. So if you need to, you can request that it gets refunded, but you are the only one that can do that request. Your authorized payer or your parent cannot make that request for you. Okay, so then with that, wanted to provide a couple of resources for you that we think are super important and you should become very familiar with. The first is our SFS website. The link is just sfs.ucsd.edu. Everything we share today is available on that website. So definitely become very familiar with everything there. The next thing is our knowledge base articles, which is available at support.ucsd.edu/students. This is a nice little database with all types of FAQs related to the student bill, related to campus ID cards, related to financial aid. There are lots and lots of knowledge base articles there. So this is a handy little tool that you can refer to anytime you have a question. And there's a nice little search bar in there, and you can type up your question. And, we have tutorials on there. We have links to our videos. We have links to different sites. So a great resource for you to bookmark. And then finally, we've got our Instagram page, which is at UCSD SFS. We are constantly posting up guides, constantly posting up updates, reminders for the bill, just all sorts of resources throughout the year. So we recommend that if you have social media, follow us on there. If you don't have social media, you can still access us by going into your browser and typing Instagram and then looking us up, UCSD SFS. And then same for financial aid, another wonderful resource. Make sure you bookmark their website, fas.ucsd.edu. You can find deadlines here. You can find information pertaining to your financial aid. So make sure you take the time to kind of go through their site. And again, knowledge base articles available at that same support.ucsd.edu. And then finally, follow them on Instagram as well. They are always providing wonderful, helpful information related to financial aid. And their handle is at UCSD FinAid. So we've gone through a lot of information here. Please continue to ask your questions through the Q&A. But if you need to contact us later on, there are lots of different ways that you can do it. So the first is by submitting a ticket through our student and support portal. So we'll put that link in the chat so that you have it. Anytime you need to contact us, you can open up a case through there and our team will take a look at it. You can submit a ticket to SFS, which is our office, for housing, for financial aid. All of that can be done through support.ucsd.edu/students. The other way you can contact us, giving us a phone call. Feel free to give us a call. Our number is 858-822-4727, and our team will help answer any questions that you have. And then we've included financial aids information here as well. A reminder that their website is fas.ucsd.edu. Their phone number is also listed here. It's 858-534-4480. And if you need to send an email, you can also send it to finaid@ucsd.edu. Okay, and with that, that pretty much concludes our presentation. So if you have any more questions, please continue to add them into the Q&A.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much. That is so much great information that is coming along. I did see a question in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we can get, oops, so sorry. I'll go ahead and get my screen shared so that we can get our attendance going here. I did see a chat come in about where can you find the recordings for the Zooms. If you go to tritontransfers.ucsd.edu, it's all under our STEP 2023 dropdown, which is under the new admits. So maybe either Jackie or Olivia can get you that link in the chat. I'm going to make sure that I'm collecting all of your attendance. So please use that QR code. I'm also going to drop a chat of our attendance link. You'll see that bit.ly coming in there now.
Sorry, there was one more question in the chat about repayment plan and interest for university loans for undergrads. The interest rate for university loans is at 5.0%. The interest does not start accruing until 9 months after you are done with school. And that is also when you would start making payments on your loan, 9 months after you're done with school.
Thanks. I'm going to go ahead. Please feel free to keep taking advantage of the Q&A box. We are happy to have questions keep coming in. I'm going to go ahead and open an end of session poll for all of you. We just want to make sure that we're keeping track of how you're feeling throughout the summer. So we keep track of these the more you attend. So let me go ahead and launch that poll. You'll see that pop up on the screen for you. And as you work on that, I will load up our wheel. Seeing some familiar names in here. So thank you for those of you who've been joining us throughout this whole summer. It's nice to see some familiar names. And thank you for getting that poll done. Perfect. And then Kachia and Rashinda, were there any questions that you answered in the chat that maybe you felt should come back to the group? I know y'all were so fast in getting to those. I didn't catch any, but wondering if there was anything that maybe you wanted to dip back into. Y'all did a great presentation, so I don't think there's anything missing, but go ahead.
I didn't really see like too many of the same kind of questions, but
Okay.
one thing that I did want to mention and that I didn't mention is that our office is always open to answer your questions, guys. So if you have financial aid questions, I don't care when it is, anytime during the school year, I don't care, whenever it is, we are always open. To find out our office hours, you can always go to our website and then click on that contact us page. It'll show you exactly when we're open for virtual counseling, in-person counseling. It will also tell you our phone hours. So that information is always available on our website. It's really easy to get to us. Please keep in mind, we have about 1,000 students trying to reach us at the same time. So the wait times, you know, right now it's a little bit heavy, but we are here always to help you. So if you have questions, reach out to us. Okay, that was all.
Thank you.
Ditto. Same with what Rashinda said. Don't hesitate to reach out to our office if you have any questions. If I had to just share a couple more things, I would just encourage again, make sure you sign up for direct deposit. You are now able to sign up for TRIP if you need to break your installments up into monthly payments for your tuition and registration. But yeah, anytime you have any questions related to your bill, or to Triton Pay, or just please reach out to our office and we'd be happy to assist.
I did see another question come in the chat, and this is a great one in regards to where can you get support with help budgeting? I'll pass this to our guest speakers, but I also will plug that Rashinda was here early in the summer. If you go back to, let's see, 6/28, we had financial aid. We did dive a bit into budgeting for the quarter, so I would recommend checking out that recording. But are there any other resources from our panelists today that you would share on budgeting?
Usually our students will come into our office and, they don't understand what's going on. We can sit down with you and let you know exactly what's going to happen each quarter and how much your refund will be so that you know what you can plan for. While that's happening, our goal is to educate you so that you can continue to do the same thing each and every quarter. So like once you figure it out, you'll know exactly how to do it going forward. That's a really good point. I can offer some sessions about that, and we can do some webinars about that, because I think a lot of our students, they need to know. Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right. I know some questions are still coming in, so we'll go ahead and make sure that those are getting acknowledged. For our sake of time, I want to make sure we get to our spinning wheel. A friendly reminder, we have just one more session. Our last session is going to be next Wednesday, same link, same time, and it will be adjusting to the quarter system. And we're going to have presenters from the Learning Center and the LATS Tutoring Center on campus. So that's going to be a great thing if figuring out the quarter system or prepping for what that piece might feel like is something that's on your mind. That is going to be our session next week with two wonderful presenters. With that, I'm going to go ahead and get our wheel spinning. And let's go ahead and let it go. All right, so our first winner of the day is going to be Eden. Please keep an eye on your inbox. I will reach out and ask you for best mailing address, or you can let us know if you're going to be on campus soon. We'll be sending some UCSD goodies your way. Our next winner is going to be Jessica. So same to you. Congrats on winning. Please keep your eye out on your inbox. I'll be sending an email tomorrow. And let's get our final winner for the day. All right. And our third and final is Angela. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for this session. And thank you to our wonderful presenters. I learned so much just being here, so we're so appreciative of your time. And I look forward to seeing y'all next week and in person just next month. Thank you, everybody.